So the next abstract will be discussing, again, transition to dolutegravir-based ART is associated with sex and viral load access in a prospective cohort. So it's so Valériane Leroy will present on behalf of Sophie Desmond. Sorry.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the organizer for allowing us to present our result on the transition to dolutegravir in the IDEA West African Pediatric Cohort. So since 2019, transitioning or initiating dolutegravir-based antiretroviral regimen is recommended in all children and adolescents, including female, those of female age, without, regardless of contraception. Dolutegravir scale-up is one of the fastest historically in low and middle-income countries and notable. However, we have very few data in West Africa, and in this region, antiretroviral coverage among all children is very low, 36% in 2021, and of whom 40% were failing. So the objective of this study is to report the incidence and determinants for dolutegravir initiation or transition in the pediatric IDEA West African cohort. So we included all children aged until 24 years were on ART, with at least one visit in 2019 in one of the 7 clinics contributing to the pediatric IDEA West African cohort, and were in orange on this map. The baseline was defined as January 1st, 2019, and we measured the cumulative incidence function for dolutegravir initiation or transition, taking into account competing risk with death or loss to follow-up defined as last clinical contact more than 6 months. We investigate associated factors using Cox model proportional model. So 2,787 children were enrolled. A third were from Côte d'Ivoire, a quarter from Mali, and the other were in Benin, Ghana, and Togo. And at baseline, 47% were female. The median age at ART initiation was 5.5 years. 59 were initiated on ART before 2015, and most of them, 4% were initiated on an NNTI first line. At the last visit, 72% were over 10 years, and 47% were still on first-line ART, and the access to viral load within the previous 12 months was 63%, of whom 70% were undetectable, defined below 500 copies here. So this graph is showing you in green the cumulative incidence function of dolutegravir transition on the y-axis over time on the x-axis. And so it reached 23% by the end of 2020 and 33.8% by the end of June 2021. The orange curve and black curve were representing death and loss to follow-up, respectively. So this is the same kind of graph, but picked up for selected univariate analysis. So on the left panel, you have a sex analysis, and you can see that male were twice likely to access to dolutegravir compared to female. On the right panel, this analysis was according to access to viral load, and so you can see that those children without access to viral load measurement were less likely, significantly less likely, to access to dolutegravir compared to those who had at least one viral load, either it was high or low viral load. So this table is showing you the adjusted analysis of factors associated with dolutegravir access. And so you can see that when adjusting for all other variables, the similar univariate results were also observed here. And adjusting for sites, male were twice less likely, more likely to access to dolutegravir. And those without viral load access was also significantly less likely to access to dolutegravir in this adjusted analysis compared to those with viral load access. We also notice a strong age effect with the older children having higher access than those children below 5 years old. And it was the same for those who were on second line compared to first line or ART-naive children. So in conclusion, access to dolutegravir is increasing heavily among West African children and adolescents, overall reaching 44% by age 29, but it's still not complete, and we can question the effect of either COVID-19 pandemic, but also suspect some antiretroviral stock out also. So adjusted for site, access to dolutegravir is associated with male sex, reflected concern with pregnancy potential and bringing inequity among females that needs to be taken into account urgently. It's also associated with access to viral load, age above 5 years related to the later availability of pediatric dolutegravir and being on second line too. The implementation of dolutegravir-based regimen should be accompanied with an accelerating scale-up access to viral load before, but also after the switch to dolutegravir, and as dolutegravir scales up, dated documentation of treatment practices is required to better ensure a universal and equitable access. So I would like to thank the family, the IDP WADA investigators and funders. Thank you very much.